Today I want to show you how I've been using the Copic markers to color in some of the Bella PDFs that I sell at paperbellastudio.com, and I've really been enjoying these markers. So if you're not familiar with Copics, I think that you'll really enjoy watching this process. What I'm going to do is color all of the components to make a card, and you'll see the card in the end. Basically what you'll need to create the card would be Copic markers, of course, scissors, a glue stick, and a few scraps of paper if you like, and then a little bit of ribbon or twine, and the actual, like, a blank card, and the PDF from Paper Bella Studio. If you're not familiar with Copic markers, it's also fun to color in these Bellas with colored pencils and do a lot of fun shading and design their outfits and things. So that's another alternative too, and I'll be showing how to do that in an upcoming video. Here's a rough example that I started, and I thought I would just show you that to give you an idea of what it'll look like in the end. The first thing I do is put like a piece of paper under what I'm going to be coloring, because the colors are awesome. I love the Copics, but they kind of bleed through, and I don't want that to get on the table. So to start out with, I'm using E50 for my base color here. And I'm just doing the face and neck, saturating the paper at this point. And then I'm going to move on to do some shading. This is E53. This is like my go-to combo, it seems like, when I'm doing fair skin. And then I just take the marker and swirl into that second color that I laid out. And it's important to do this while it's still wet. If I wanted to do some cheeks, like some blush, I guess, I'm using EOO's Skin White, and just blend that out too. So I finished her legs and arms too, just a little bit of shading at her knees, and then I'm going to color the inside of her mouth. This is R22, kind of a salmon, light prawn actually. Okay. And for her eyes, I'm going to do B95. And then just a little bit of eyeshadow, I guess. This is B52. Her eyebrows will be a little bit darker. Any tan color. This is E54. Okay. And then I always go back and darken the eyes. I went ahead and made them dark for all the dolls actually, but when you're printing it out, we know that the printers do a good job, but they don't get it like super black. So I just go over those. Next we'll move on to her hair. Blonde hair is always kind of tricky. And I'm going to start out with a layer of just a really YOOO, which is pale lemon, just so she'll have some highlights. And I'm going to go over that again, so I'm going to go back to E50. And I'm going right over the highlights that I just put in with that pale lemon. And when we're finished, that'll just be like a shine kind of look. I print these PDFs off on just regular copy paper. I use like HP. I think it's 20-pound weight. And I really like it because it, I don't know, it just does a good job. Hard to explain. I'm adding a little bit of depth to that blonde hair now with E34, and then I'm going to pick up the E50 again and blend that in. This last color that I'm putting over for the blonde hair is E53, and it's just like a real pretty golden. It is raw silk. I'm going to do her shorts in a gray. This is N3. And again, so we're just saturating the paper with the color. It seems like the wetter you get them, the better they blend, and I really like that. This is N6. And if you're not familiar with Copic markers and the whole color system, they, when you pick out colors to blend, like so I picked out N3 and then this is N6. I'm back to N3 now, by the way. You just want to go, you want to stay within the color family, but, sorry, getting into my work here, but you want to go like a couple colors deeper, a couple numbers down. So so when I had N3 and then I moved down to N6 to do the shading part, kind of see what I mean? I go into that a lot more in depth in my color as a verb workshop. And you can see that I kind of left that light. And I'm just going to go over it there. Just like a little bit of shadowing or highlighting. And I'm going to come up and do her sunglasses in the same colors. I'm going to do a red shirt. And I'm going to start out with, let's do a little test here. That is R35 Coral. And then I went a little bit deeper into numbers. That's R46 Strong Red. So let's just color that in. One thing I like about these dolls, I try to give them like a lot of open space so that you guys can really have fun with the markers and the blending, because I love that part. But another reason that the spaces are open is so that you can doodle in that space, you can add more than what I've done. I'm pretty satisfied with how she looks right now. So the final touches that I would use would be taking a multi-liner, and I don't think I said that earlier, but her pupils I did with a multi-liner. You do not want to use like a standard black, like 110 special black. You wouldn't want to use that for those pupils because the color, the ink, when it hits the paper, it kind of spreads just a smidge, and it's not like a super black. But this, the multi-liner is. And by the way, this is 0.25, so it's really fine. And that's going to give her eyelashes and just, you know, any detail that you would want to use. I'm gonna just a little bit here and there, right? Little bracelet. necklace. And there we go. There is our girl. Finished coloring this flower now. I'm using Tender Pink RV13. And then I'm also going to use RV14, which is Begonia Pink. This is a fun little thing though to take, to do like a little flick kind of thing. I don't know, there's really not a better word for that. Okay, I said I wasn't going to do any shading, and here I go. Anyway, it looks better. So yeah, there's that. And then I'm going to do, I put two different versions of the same little phrase. One is in cursive, which is fun to use, and it's a little bit smaller. This one is a little bit bigger, and it's really fun to fill all that in and give a lot of color to your project. I'm going to take 6 and just fill in the circles. And then when this is done, I will cut it out, and I'll just cut it in a rectangle like this so that I can add it to a project. I put a happy birthday in on this PDF, which is called Good Day, by the way, because birthday cards are so common, and we all like to give cards to people on their birthdays, so I thought that is a for sure thing that we have to have available. I've got a card here, and I've cut out all of the colored things that I want to add to it. And now I'm just going to take some glue and put them in place. This is just a little bit of green paper that I'm going to put down so it doesn't look like she's just standing in the air, you know. And then the last thing is the little flower. And that flower would be really fun to use without the stem too. Can you kind of envision that? Like, it would be cute to put right there or way up there, but it's gonna go in the grass. I really should go get my brayer, but oh well. I added a little bit of twine to, and just wrapped it around the fold of the card, just for something, you know. There we have our finished card. By the way, you can get more information and check out all the other Bellas at www.paperbellastudio.com. Thanks for watching.